He devilish instructor was training snipers, but his methods were quite unusual. He asked the new recruits to take out their sewing kits and thread all 10 needles onto a single piece of thread within 1 minute. The timer started immediately. The recruits had just finished a 10-kilometer run and were exhausted, gasping for breath with trembling hands. It was nearly impossible for them to thread the needles accurately, but the instructor kept urging them on. One recruit, unable to bear it, cursed the instructor under his breath, only to be overheard and reprimanded harshly. After a stern lecture from the instructor, he glanced at his watch and began the countdown. The recruits were sweating profusely and on the verge of tears. No one thought anyone would succeed, but in the last second, one recruit stood up and shouted that he had completed the task. The instructor was astonished. This challenge was impossible for anyone untrained. It turned out that the recruit had read extensively about sniper training and had practiced for years. The instructor couldn't help but praise him, saying he was just a little bit better than the others. The recruit thanked the instructor and glanced triumphantly at his rival. Without giving the recruits a break, the instructor immediately ordered them to sprint down the hill, threatening to shoot anyone who lagged behind. The recruit who had just made a show of his skills made his rival uncomfortable, prompting her to speed up and try to overtake him. They raced each other all the way down the hill. Once they reached the bottom, the instructor used a loudspeaker to shout at them and herded everyone to one side for a test. He demanded that they write out the periodic table from memory within 30 seconds. Some recruits were even drawing pictures. The recruit who had just succeeded in threading the needles looked around for answers and asked the recruit in front of him. Although he provided the answers, the recruit still didn't understand anything. The instructor continued to mock them. The 30 seconds quickly passed, and the recruits were sent away to continue training. At that moment, the head instructor arrived to check the recruits' answers. Only 2 had managed to write out the periodic table. Meanwhile, the recruit who had just been struggling with the answers was helped by the recruit next to him. The recruits kept running until it was time to eat and rest. Everyone collapsed on the ground, waiting for the instructor to serve food. When they saw buns, they eagerly moved closer but ended up choking. One recruit asked for water, but the instructor refused. After running 10 kilometers, anyone would be dizzy and nauseous, unable to eat. Now, without even water, some recruits were vomiting while eating. The recruit who couldn't bear it protested, saying they were being tortured. The instructor told anyone who couldn't keep going to leave. Would they be able to endure until the end?